Hey guys, it's Saria. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be showing you guys how I made my daughter's costumes. We are dressing up as the Sanderson sisters. I do have a video out on how I made my costume, and then I also have now made costumes for both of my daughters. All of the things in this video are no-sew, which I know makes it a lot easier on everyone who's looking to do this, and I did try to get most of the items from places that are easy to access, like Amazon. My oldest daughter Kala is going to be Winifred, and my baby girl Daylin is going to be Mary. So if you are interested in seeing how I made these costumes, then just keep watching. So I did say this in my Mary tutorial, but in case you didn't watch that one or haven't seen it yet, I am splitting these tutorials into two different videos because otherwise it would be 30 minutes long, and that's just a little bit excessive. So for this video, I'm going to be showing you how I made my daughter's Winifred costume. So to start off, I actually bought this velvet dress for women off of Amazon, and I know that sounds crazy, but I loved the sleeves on it, and I knew I was going to be adding a panel to the center, so the plunging neckline didn't seem to be a problem, and I honestly prefer to take a piece of clothing and rework it than to have to sew it from scratch. So this is the dress. It actually looks exactly like the picture if you're just interested in buying it for yourself. And I'm going to start off by cutting down the center of the dress, which is a little bit scary when you do it, but I needed to add in this purple panel. So I just got this purple velvet fabric from Hobby Lobby. You could probably get this at Joann's as well, or even I think a satin would look really, really pretty, but I had the velvet already. So I'm going to take my fabric scissors and very carefully I'm going to cut down the center of this dress. I did decide to turn the dress inside out because I felt like it gave me a better gauge of where I was cutting. And you can also take a meter stick and kind of use it to make as straight of a line as you can. I do have this grid mat, but honestly the meter stick was more useful for what I was trying to do. And then I just went ahead and did it. I took my scissors and cut straight down the center. Do go very slow. You don't want to pull on the fabric too hard because you don't want like jagged edges. If you do get them, it's not a big deal. We're going to fix that later, but obviously it's better not to have them. And now I'm turning this right side out, and I'm actually going to take this and hang it up to add in this center panel. Originally I was going to try to lay it down and do it that way, but it works a lot better if you hang it up. So I needed to cut off the salvage edge off of this panel, and now I'm just kind of checking how it looks with this piece inside, and I'm going to go ahead and take it and hang it up and start pinning it into place. So I did pin this much too low for my daughter, so I needed to bring it up. If you have your child home, my child was not home when I made this costume, so I just kind of had to do it from guessing. But if you can have your child wear it, it will make it a lot easier for you in the end because you can have them put it on, just kind of pin it into place, and have them slide out of it so you can finish pinning it. But I'm just taking my time to make sure that I have it straight across. It's not angling down on one side more than the other. And just pinning it using just regular sewing pins. And now I'm just going to go ahead and continue pinning all along down the bottom. So I just wanted to give you guys a close-up of kind of how I'm doing this. I'm just trying to line up the edges the best I can, and then just inserting my pin like this. this is what it looked like once I had everything pinned in place. It is a little bit too long, so I am going to cut off that bottom part, obviously. So now I'm just going to literally go in with my hot glue gun and glue down where I have it pinned. I do take the pins out as I'm working, and I'm trying not to be too liberal with the hot glue because I don't want it to seep out from the fabric. But I'm literally just, as you can see here, applying a thin line of hot glue and then just firmly pressing down the purple fabric onto the green fabric. You do want to do this with the dress turned inside out. It's much easier to see what you're doing and to be able to control where you're laying the hot glue. And then you're going to continue this all the way down to the bottom and do the other side as well. So now for the bottom of the dress, I went ahead and glued down my edges kind of, and now I'm just going to fold over this purple fabric to create kind of a false hemline, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut off the extra. Do leave yourself a little bit left to fold over though, like you don't want to cut it right against the line, because as you can see right here, I'm using my hot glue gun to create a fake hemline. This just makes it look a little bit more finished on the bottom. And then once you have all of that done, you can turn the dress back right side out and check your work. I'm removing the pins. And if you guys look at it, I'm sorry. It's very hard to tell that this was hot glued and not sewn. So now I'm just going in and closing up any gaps that I felt like were too big on the edges. And next we're going to go in with trim. So using this gold rope trim that I got from Joanns, I'm going to create a fake corset. This is very similar to what I did in my DIY Kids Mary costume. If you guys saw that, it's the exact same concept. Some advice I do have for you guys is to leave yourself a little bit of an edge on the green fabric where you can hide this trim underneath it. So you almost want to leave like a lip, I guess, where you can glue down the trim underneath the green fabric and then kind of cover up the edge. Mine did get a little bit messy, but it's okay because I am going to go in with some different gold braided trim later on and kind of cover up any mess that got left behind. But basically you're going to go in and you're gluing X's down. So you're going to do one side and then go in and glue the other side. You can literally see me struggling right here. Sorry guys. So I've got one glued down and now I'm literally cleaning up because hot glue gets everywhere and on velvet it is not good. So be very careful. And now I'm gluing down the other side of the first X. I did make my bottom one a little bit too long. I wish I had pulled them a little bit tighter because this dress is obviously way too large for a child, so it would have actually helped if I'd pulled them a little bit tighter. But hindsight's 20/20, right? So I'm snipping off the excess and then just gluing down this edge again underneath that green fabric as best I can. And then I'm just going to continue this method all the way up. I think I ended up doing 3 X's with this gold rope trim. Again, if your edges are a little bit messy, that's okay. We're going to go in and cover it up with more trim because Lord knows my tactic is just to use trim to hide everything. So now taking this gold braided trim that again I got from Joann's, I'm just applying a thin line of hot glue on the very edge of where the green meets the purple fabric and just using this to hide any mistakes, and also it just makes the dress look a little bit nicer and more detailed and more like Winifred's in the actual movie. This trim I did bring all along the front of the bodice, and then I actually used it to circle around on the collar on the back of the dress, which I'm going to show you in a moment. And then after going along the back, I'm just going to continue and go downward onto the other side of the front of the dress. I also decided just to add a little bit at the top because I did not hem this and I thought it made it look just a little bit fancier. So you guys know me, I'm very honest with you. I had my daughter put this on and the purple panel was too low on her, but I had already glued all of this together. So let me show you my cheater method for fixing that. I safety pinned it on her to where I needed to fold these shoulders, and now I'm going to fold them and apply a butt ton of hot glue and then pinch it closed. This is literally my cheater method for not hemming, but like bringing the dress upward to where it's not too low cut. I mean, when in doubt, hot glue, right? And then I'm applying a little bit on the inside as well and folding this. Do be careful if you're going to do this because you might make the head hole on the dress too small and then your child's head won't fit through it. This is kind of the bad part about only using hot glue and not doing any kind of stitching, because honestly the easiest thing to do is just to add a zipper onto the back of the dress. But if you don't know how to sew, or if you're not comfortable sewing, I'm just trying to give you guys some tips how to use your hot glue gun to do just about anything. So I'm just going in and making sure that I have this all nicely lined up with the trim so that you can't really tell. And honestly, you really can't tell. Like when she puts this on, you cannot tell how much I have cheated with my hot glue gun to form this dress. This one I decided wasn't even, so I literally just went in, pulled it apart, and tried again. So I did decide to add a little bit more trim onto the waistline of the dress. I just wanted to give it a little more detail. Again, you guys know me, I go kind of crazy with the trim. You don't have to do this, but I just think that it made it look a lot nicer once it was done. And we are almost done, guys. There is just one more thing left to do. On the back of this dress, it was a little bit too big for my daughter, so instead of going crazy with my hot glue gun and adding more trim or more rope or whatever, I just decided to make my life easy and use this pin. So I had this green, beautiful gemmed pin on hand, so I'm just using this to cinch the back of the dress and make it fit her, and I just think it looks really pretty, so. While at Joann's, I found this really pretty beaded necklace that already had a clasp ready to go on it. So I did decide to go ahead and try to make something similar to Winifred's necklace from the movie. And I found this little piece to attach to the necklace, and it was really easy. I literally just used tweezers, and I just attached it to the necklace, and that was that. And this is what the dress looked like when it was all done. I hope you guys liked this tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them for me in the comments below. And be sure to check out my Sarah Sanderson costume tutorial as well as my Mary Sanderson costume tutorial that I have linked below. I will see you guys in my next video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Bye!